Chapter 34. What the fuck is happening here? Where is Namek? Where is King Kai? I wonder as I float through the space that used to be occupied by King Kai's planet. I was running out of options at this point. Cammy wasn't willing to see me, and I felt bad enough about what I did that I was willing to let it go for now. King Kai's entire planet was gone, and with it King Kai, Tien, Krillin, and Master Roshi. I was about to pop back to planet 14C and check in with Indivaya when the thought occurred to me that Shin may be able to help. If anyone could tell me what the fuck is happening right now, it'd be him. Quickly raising 2 fingers to my forehead, I concentrate in the rough direction of the sacred planet of the Kais. I'm going to start screaming again. I think a few seconds later when I can't sense anything. Fuck it. Unconcentrated jump it is. I say, before disappearing with a pop. For a moment I feel it take before I'm slamming into a wall at what feels like the speed of light. I wake up floating in a void of nothingness. For a moment I panic, thinking I must have died, before the floating text boxes telling me that I'd awoken and healed are noticed. I swipe them away, casting out my senses, trying to track down any energy signature I recognized. Come on, what the fuck is happening here? I think, searching in every direction around me. Wait there. I think, before disappearing with another pop. Otherworld check-in station. With a soft pop, I reappear at a location I was hoping to never need to see again. The check-in station is the gateway between the mortal realms and Otherworld. I quickly make my way through the ever-moving crowd of spirits and roughly push past a blue ogre that tried to stop me. I jog through the massive doors, quickly spotting who I had managed to sense. King Yenma, I need your help. I call out as I launch myself into the air, ending up eye level with him on the other side of his rather impressive mahogany desk. You're not dead, I can tell that much. Can't you see I'm busy here? King Yenma replies. I know and I'm sorry, but King Kai and his planet are missing. I tried to go to the Supreme Kai, but I was knocked out by something. I tell him, is it? That's quite odd. He says as he looks off into the distance for a second. He frowns before his eyes narrow. He glances at me for a moment, before grabbing a book from the desk and flipping to what seemed like a random page. He reads for a moment before slamming it shut again. I remember you now. King Yenma says, sitting up a bit. I can't help you. What do you mean you can't help me? I ask in disbelief. You're all that's left. You've been barred from Otherworld, KLL. I have been ordered to turn you away, answer none of your questions, except to tell you to stay away from Otherworld. He explains. What the fuck are you talking about? Who barred me from Otherworld? Who would dare? I yell the anger that fills me unexpected. Watch the tone, kid. He replies. I wish I could help you. You've done more good than bad, and I commend you for that. Orders are orders, though, and I can't help you. I'm seething, and I can feel my energy slowly rising. Please just tell me who barred me from Otherworld. I already told you, kid, I can't help you. Not unless I want to be destroyed for not following orders. King Yenma replies, his eyes opening a bit wider. I pause, going over what he said. My anger is tempered, but only just barely. I see. I'll be going then. I fly back out the door and put 2 fingers to my forehead. Things are happening out in the universe, and I can't get answers because fucking Beerus is playing some game with me? Fine. He wants a Super Saiyan God? I'll give him a fucking Super Saiyan God. Planet Scion. As shitty as some things tend to be, popping into and out of practical existence. Jumping massive distances in an instant really is quite fun. It took less than half a second to jump the untold light years between the Otherworld check-in station and Planet Scion. I reappear on the steps to the palace. I call it a palace, but it's really nothing more than a slightly larger building than the others around it. With the loss of Planet Vegeta, we also lost quite a bit of material items. It didn't seem that big of a deal, and I'd been told that we'd be back to relative normality in just 5 years. As I enter, 2 of the royal guards salute me, as I nod to each and enter into the main chambers. Indivaya is sitting on his throne, going through data on an information pad. King Indivaya, I say as I approach. He looks up after a moment, recognizing that someone has entered. His eyes widen as he stands quickly. KLL, welcome back. Did you find anything? I didn't, my king. Planet Vegeta is an asteroid field now. I sensed nothing of Majin Buu. I took the time to destroy each asteroid as well, in case a small piece may have survived, but I don't think there was anything left. I tell him, KLL, stop with the king bullshit. I've told you before, man, we're friends, you don't need to do that. Indivaya tells me. It's habit, really, I reply, shrugging. Listen, it's been a tough few months, so I've been putting this off, but we really do need to talk about what Vegeta did to me. The tension in the room builds by quite a bit with what I said, as Indivaya frowns. Yeah, alright. Come sit down, as this one is going to be hard to fully explain. He answers. I follow him over to his throne and pull up one of the seats. Once we're sitting, he starts to explain. Planet Vegeta. Father, you can't be serious? Indivaya yells. I am serious, son. If we don't find a way to push him, Beerus will kill us all. You don't understand what he's like in Divaya. Vegeta explains. He destroys on a whim. It's his actual job. He weeds out the weak civilizations, the ones that won't be able to stand the test of time. He is so powerful that he could wipe us out with a wave of his hand, and no one could stop him. But father, to use Broly like that? The poor man has had a hard enough life. Indivaya says, I know it seems cold-hearted, son, but it is practical. Broly is incurable. His instability has defeated every means known to us, including several we invented just to try. As powerful as he is a liability. At least in this, if it works, his life will have been used to save our people. Any sacrifice is worth that. Vegeta explains, eyes downcast. Even if the sacrifice was me? Indivaya asks. No. I would sacrifice myself instead. Planet Sion. I tried several times to talk him into a different plan, but in the end, there wasn't much else he could think of that would push you far enough, Indivaya explains. As he told me, the last time you unlocked a portion of your true power was in the fight against Sana. He believed that he would need to push you that far at least, to get you to tap into it again. I see. I reply. And the thing with Kakarot. Indivia's frown deepens. I hated that. When our sensors picked you up, father made a snap decision. Push you as hard as possible, right then and there. Kakarot was against the idea. He felt that this was going too far. However, father's argument was that what we were doing to you was no worse than what we did to the other Scions to push them to Super Saiyan. You yourself pretended betrayal, pretended to kill my father, to push me to Super Saiyan. In the end, if it pushed you to unlock whatever power you used against Sana, to stop the threat that Beerus had given us, if it allowed you the power to defeat Majin Buu, wouldn't that have been worth it? Indivaya asks. I contemplate everything that he's told me. On the one hand, it really does make sense. Using Broly like that still pisses me off, but the reasoning behind it isn't that terrible. I myself had done some fucked up mind games to push people to ascend to Super Saiyan. I'm not happy about it, Indivaya. I can't fully explain everything, but I will tell you this. I was emotionally compromised when I came back, and to find out that I had been marked for death, someone I felt was a friend sent to be the executioner. I explain. It hurt. I'm still not fully over it. However, right now, we have much more important things to figure out. And what's that, KLL? Indivaya asks. We need to find as many righteous Scions as we can. Planet Sion, 3 weeks later. It had taken 3 weeks of poring through mission files to find what I was looking for. Scions that had shown loyalty, humility, and self-sacrifice. I needed Scions that could be considered objectively good, in the sense that they would do what is right if the opportunity came up. I had in my hands a list of 12 potentials, and it doesn't surprise me at all that of the 12, 5 were trained under Bara, in 2 different strike forces. I popped into existence outside of the apartment of the first one on my list, a Scion by the name of Goiz. I knocked on the door and waited as I heard movement inside. The door opened slightly, and a single eye was visible. Can I help you? Yes, you can. You are Lieutenant Geo's, Strike Force 17, correct? I ask. His eye narrows as he looks at me. The door opened wider. Holy shit, you're Captain KLL. He says, saluting quickly. None of that, soldier. I tell him, getting him to drop the salute. I have some questions to ask you if you don't mind. Yeah. I mean, no, go ahead and ask whatever you want, Captain. He replies, how did you lose the eye? I ask. He pauses, startled by the question. I was on a mission, sir. We were trying to clear out rebels after you, killed Frisia. One of them got the drop on us and caused an explosion near us. I grabbed my friend and pulled him back as he was closer. The shrapnel got me in the side and my eye. I see, I reply, thinking it over. Why didn't you dodge? I mean, why not abandon your friend? Surely he should have been paying attention and dodged as well. I don't know, sir. I saw it happening and just reacted. He replies, looking at the floor. Do you regret it? I ask. No, Captain. My friend lived, and I can still fight just fine. He replies, the obvious truthfulness in his voice shining through. That's a good answer. I have one final question for you, then. I tell him. What's that, sir? He asks. How would you like to join a secret mission of sorts? I ask. He looks mildly taken aback by the question, certainly surprised. I mean, are you sure you want me as part of it? Y absolutely do. I think you are uniquely qualified, in fact. I tell him. What would I be doing? He asks. Helping to save our people. It's really quite important, I promise you. I can't tell you much more than that, though. It is a secret mission. I laugh. All right, Captain. Yes, I'm in. Goiz replies. I thought as much. Welcome. I tell him as I shake his hand. To Project Chance. Planetoid 4A 3 weeks later. It had taken a good amount of work to get to this point, but I was glad I had done it. Sharing the secret to Super Saiyan God was a hard choice to make, but it needed to be done. Muri is still missing. No one from Otherworld had contacted me. I was in the dark and couldn't push my way through without becoming a Super Saiyan god. To say that I held my secrets close would be an understatement. Yet here I am, out in the middle of Space Bunas, surrounded by Scions I barely know, that I think are good-natured. I thought, looking at the chamber walls, built into the ground of this small atmospheric planetoid, is a specially constructed chamber. The center part is open at the top and is tube-like in shape. Around it are 5 closed-off chambers, each built with a special alloy that blocks energy sensing, and a rubber fitting with which they can stick their hands through to touch me. It had taken 2 weeks to have the chamber built, time which I had spent getting these Scions to ascend to Super Saiyan. It wasn't quite so hard, as each was good of heart and prone to blaming themselves. 5 Scions, each with a background that says they are mostly good, self-sacrificing, willing to die for another. In just a few moments they would each put a hand on me and begin pushing their energy into my body. If everything worked out, I would ascend. I reached down and hit a button in my own chamber that turns on green lights in the other chambers. To protect the secret of how this ritual works, I made sure that each participant only knew 2 of the others, and only that they were experimenting in power augmentation. As the light turns on, the 5 Scions reach out, placing their palms on my back, chest, and arms. As one, they begin powering up, their auras lighting up the darkness around us. I push to Super Saiyan, then into Super Saiyan 2, allowing my own energy to flood back into them, keeping the cycle going. Each, in turn, ascends to Super Saiyan, one even pushing into Grade 2. The air around us seems to glow, flashing between blue, yellow, red, and the various auras of the Scions around me, before finishing on golden to match our forms. I glance around, seeing the colors shifting to bright glowing blue, as sparks seem to bounce around the air between us. Several moments pass as my power level seems to skyrocket, the energy inside of my twisting around and around inside of me. With a gasp, I slowly begin to float out of the top of the chamber, the energy within me urging me into the sky. I hear the telltale pops of the 5 Scions, leaving the planet with instant transmission, their jobs complete. Secret unlocked. There is a sudden bing, as an alert shows up, but it disappears a moment later. My aura, normally golden, has shifted over completely to bright red-orange, as the energy inside of me reaches a crescendo. What feels like a wall of glass shatters, as my body changes shape ever so slightly as the transformation finishes. A shudder runs through my body as I take a deep breath. I can feel the energy coursing through my body, reminiscent of the energy I channeled momentarily against Sana. The well of energy feels limitless as I push deep, filling the air around me with a fiery aura. The air around me sparks and flames, the heat flowing from my body enough to ignite what little oxygen is available. My screams fill the air as I reach the maximum amount of energy I can channel. The planetoid beneath me is shaking, pulsing with the energy I've released. Oh God, I whisper, feeling my immense power. Not quite, comes a voice from behind me.